Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. It is October 1st, which means that it is the start of the Spooktober Readathon, which is a month-long readathon that I've been hosting every year since 2020. I think for the first time ever, I am going to be attempting to vlog every single week. I'm a little bit nervous about how this is going to go because I'm notoriously bad at following through on things similar to this when I say that I'm going to do them. So we're gonna try it out. This is either going to be a week-long reading vlog or a 2-week-long vlog, depending on what ends up happening at the end of this week. I might just do 2 vlogs for the whole month, or I might break it up into 4. I don't know, we will see. But I am on Team Killer, which is the thriller-based genre team, and I have a plan to read a book for every single prompt this round, and fingers crossed that I actually do that. But I am going to go ahead and vlog hopefully, my whole month of reading, but I'll mostly just focus on my Spooktober books. I might briefly mention the books that I read outside of the readathon in these vlogs, but probably not. But today's the first. Like I said, I am doing some live sprints to kick off the month in about 30 minutes, and I wanted to mention the first book that I'll be reading before I started it. My first book that I'll be reading for this month, for this readathon, is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. This won my poll pick, which was one of the prompts for every single team, was to have everybody else vote on the book that you read. So The Perfect Marriage won for my poll pick, and I will be starting this one today. I'll probably just update y'all, I don't know, maybe like once every other day, or like every time I finish a book, or every time I get to 50% of a book. I don't know how exactly I'm going to do this yet, but we're gonna try it and we're gonna see what happens. So I'll update y'all whenever I update y'all, but hopefully this is a very productive month of reading for me, both with spooky books and non-spooky books. Cannot wait. But yes, I will update y'all whenever I do. Good morning, y'all. It is a day of the week. I am homesick today. I had a fever last night, and while I'm feeling like overall better today, I'm still coughing a ton. I've got antibiotics and steroids in my system, so fingers crossed they start working soon. But I have, amidst the chaos of that, made it to 50% in The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. This book I'm reading for my poll pick prompt for Team Killer, and so far it's certainly addicting. It is very dramatic, and I very much felt that way with the other book that I read by this author. Like, all the characters are just super dramatic for the sake of being super dramatic. So I'm curious to see what my final thoughts are going to be. I'm already pretty sure I know like who the murderer is. I'm not gonna lie. There's a character in here who's very shady all the time, or like maybe this person knows more than they're letting on about who actually murdered the mistress, who is dead. But we'll see if my prediction is right. There's just one character who is consistently in the story and is consistently like fumbling around when certain information is brought to light. So I'm very curious to see if those are hints or clues, or if they're just the unfortunate way that that character is being written by this author, but we'll see. But again, I am hooked. I love drama. I love dramatic characters for the most part. My biggest issue with the other book that this author wrote that I had read was that like everything was just too dramatic, like so dramatic that it wasn't realistic anymore. I also wonder if the lawyer, who's the wife, Sarah, I wonder if she's a lawyer. Like, she seems to be doing like way more than what lawyers tend to have the ability to do. Like, she's acting almost like a cop, where she is going to places looking for clues and like talking to people and like lying about who she is to get some responses on things. And like, is that what a lawyer does? I feel like that's like over the top, and I feel like she's towing the line between like her profession and like being a cop and like being a lawyer. I feel like she's doing not what her job description is supposed to be as a lawyer, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe criminal defense lawyers go about everything differently, or I don't know. I used to watch like NCIS when I was younger, like in high school and college, but I don't remember if the lawyers did all that type of stuff that she's doing in here, but also it's for her husband, so like maybe she's just taking everything a step further. and trying to figure out if he is innocent or not. So I don't know. It's very good so far, I will say. Like, I'm enjoying it. It's addicting because of how dramatic it is. As of right now, that's not a bad thing, but we'll see if it turns into a bad thing or like not. I don't know, like just too much by the end of the book. But right now it's leaning at like 3.5 or 4 stars, so we'll see what the plot twist is at the end, because if I have predicted it, that's fine. It won't be surprising for me, so it won't have the outcome or the effect that the author probably wanted it to have on me, but that's okay. So I'll probably update y'all whenever I do end up finishing this book. I have no idea how many more clips this week's vlog will be, but I at least hope to finish this book as well as start another one before week 1 of Spooktober is over. So I'll talk to y'all maybe today, maybe later this week, whenever I do finish The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. Okay, I 100% look disgusting because I feel disgusting, but I'm also feeling a little bit better now that I've taken all my antibiotics and my steroids. So like, yikes, it doesn't even matter, I don't even care. So I've been cleaning the apartment a little bit today since it definitely needed to get cleaned up a little bit. And while I was doing so, I listened to the rest of the audiobook for The Perfect Marriage, and I finished it up about 30 seconds ago. I gave this book 2 stars. The ending was just so absurd that it wasn't even like, it just made me like gasp in like a really annoying way, or like it made me laugh. I actually think I laughed. I was like, there's no way, like this is actually what ends up happening. And it was. And I feel as though the absurdity of the whole situation just made me like not even care anymore, if that makes sense. So I ended up giving this one 2 stars. Not my favorite at all, but I did finish it. That is one book that has been sitting on my shelf for a while that needed to get read, and it's been read now, so that's good. Hopefully my next pick for Spooktober is better. I'm gonna go grab the book that I plan to read next, and I'll show y'all in a second. But yeah, 2 stars to this one. This book, for those of y'all who don't know, I guess I'll give a quick synopsis. It's about Adam, who is accused of killing his mistress, and his wife Sarah, who is a lawyer, defends his murder trial. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's about. They're both terrible people. Everybody in this book is terrible, pretty much is just a terrible person, except for like maybe one person, and even then I'm unconvinced. So yeah, there's that, but it's done, it's out of the way now, and it's fine. I can see why people love this book, and I can see why it was so popular, especially upon its release date. It is an absolutely wild ride. I love books that switch back and forth between multiple POVs, so I feel as though that added a lot to the story with Adam and Sarah and their marriage, and how do you defend your own husband who's been accused of such a terrible thing, but who is kind of a terrible person, cheating on his own wife and doing some pretty awful things. But Sarah also is not a great person for her own reasons, and I don't even know, like, I don't get it. I don't get the hype around this one. But that's just me personally. I love reading, in part because of the fact that everybody has different opinions on every single book in existence. And that's okay. Like, I love that. Like, that's okay. So book 1 done for Team Killer. Check mark. I'm gonna go grab the second book that I'll probably start in a little bit as I continue to finish cleaning the apartment. My second book is going to be Bad Things Feel Best by Ivy Smoke. I need to see which prompt I am reading this book for. I think it's for the house on the cover prompt. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm reading this book for the staircase, hallway / house on the cover prompt. I also have the audiobook for this one, and we'll be listening to it mostly. But this is kind of a romance, but it's also like a suspense thriller, which is why I was like, it's gonna count for this readathon. I'm gonna make it count. So I'll have my little bit of romance going on in here, but I also think it'll be a very exciting book. So yeah, that's my next one. I have no idea what it's about, but I've read several books by Ivy Smoke and just love her in general, so I wanted to pick this one up and read it, since I've gone into all of her other books without knowing too much and have ended up loving most of them. So I'll try to give y'all a better synopsis, or just a synopsis period, once I hop back in here with my next update, whenever that shall be. But yes, this should be another quick read to get through, just like The Perfect Marriage was. But yeah, I will be back in here whenever I am back in here.
Woke up and I'm broke inside again. Said that I was gonna leave, but I'm here again. I'm stuck now, and I don't wanna lie. Feels like every chance you get to let me down, you always take and bring me back to the place.
Happy Friday, y'all. I am like finally starting to feel back to my normal self. It is the weekend. I was supposed to babysit twice and they were both canceled. So I'm hoping that I can finish another book for Spooktober this weekend while I study for an exam that I have next week. But I did finish Bad Things Feel Best last night. I gave this book 1 star. It was not my favorite read by Ivy Smoke, which is very disappointing, but it was just very chaotic and the ending left more questions than answers, and I just felt like there was just too much going on in this book without any clear conclusions, that by the end of it I was like, what was the point of reading these 250 some pages or whatever. But this book is about Hazel, who is hired to be an assistant to this very famous author, and when she gets to the house things just immediately start going wrong. She meets this man named Mr. Remington who has lots of secrets, but she's also very attracted to him. He's like 5 or 6 years older than she is, I believe, so not really an age gap, but kind of. But yeah, it was just not my favorite at all, but it's fine. This one is done. Second book done for Team Killer, yay. And then the next book that I plan to start is Missing Clarissa. This is an arc that I have on NetGalley. I think it's by an author, Ripley Jones maybe, but the audiobook is like 7.5 hours long. So I plan to start tonight after I get some studying done for my exam on Tuesday, and then hopefully finish it up by Sunday, although I think I'll probably end this vlog tomorrow, maybe. So I'll do one more update tomorrow, hopefully, or Sunday. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, that's my next goal. We'll see if I finish the book during this vlog or if I'll finish this 3rd book up during my next vlog. But yeah, that's the plan. I have no idea what this book is about aside from the fact that there was a missing girl at some point and now she is dead. That was like the first line of the back of the book. So yeah, that's the plan. But I'll update y'all whenever I feel like it to close up this reading vlog. It is Sunday. The first week of Spooktober is officially over and I need to close out my vlog. And I'm very excited to say that I'm already halfway done with the prompts, I guess. Sorry, I have my windows open. Hopefully y'all can't hear too much of what's going on. It's just such a beautiful day outside and our AC is turned off, and I was like, I'm gonna open the windows to let in some natural air, and I love it. Anyway, I'm already halfway done with the prompts. I finished my 3rd book last night at like 10:30, so I went ahead and went to bed, and then I started my 4th book this morning. But to rewind really fast, the book that I finished last night was Missing Clarissa by Ripley Jones. This is the book about the girl who 20 years ago went missing, and then in the present time these 2 high schoolers went to start a podcast for a class project to try and solve her mystery. And whether or not she's still alive and just missing and like she disappeared and like left, or if she's dead, or what is going on. So that is the 3rd book that I finished. I read that for the missing person prompt, or read a book with a missing person. So that fulfilled that prompt. Then I started this morning People Like Us by Dana Meal for the read any thriller prompt, and so far it's not great. Also, I should say that Missing Clarissa I gave 3 stars. People Like Us is another YA thriller. This one takes place at a boarding school. This group of girls finds a student dead in the lake one night after a party, and they've all got their secrets, and now like she's coming back, not like from the dead, but she like set up this game for one of the girls to play to like get revenge on all the people who did bad things to her while she was alive, or something like that, or all the people who had secrets but also like made her life worse while she was alive, if that makes sense. I'm honestly kind of confused. I don't know if it's because I'm listening to an audiobook and like not paying attention as closely as I should be, which I don't think is the case, because like normally I'm really good at engaging with audiobooks even while I'm doing other things, but like I'm kind of bored and confused. So we'll see what ends up happening with it. I don't have super high hopes for it, but my goal is to finish it this week, so it will be in my 2nd week of Spooktober vlog. might take a little bit of a break from spooky books after finishing this one, because so far Spooktober has been a bust in terms of my enjoyment of the books that I've read. To wrap up, I guess, this vlog, I'll go ahead and like share my wrap up of all the books I read this week for Spooktober. But first, I read The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, gave that book 2 stars. Then I read Bad Things Feel Best by Ivy Smoke, gave that book 1 star. And then Missing Clarissa by Ripley Jones, I gave 3 stars. And then People Like Us, I am currently in the middle of, but not loving it so far. So that's my wrap up for this first week. Next week might not be a ton of thriller content. It might be me taking a little bit of a break for this week, reading some romance or something like that to kind of cleanse my palette and hope that my last couple of books for Spooktober are better. But so far I have completed the pull pick prompt, the staircase / hallway / house on the cover prompt, the missing person prompt, and then this one will be my any thriller prompt, which I will finish in the next vlog. So that's all that I have for this first week of reading. I will say I have gotten farther along than I had anticipated. Just within the first 7 days of Spooktober, having already completed 3 prompts is great. So that's awesome. Last time I did the points update on Friday night, so 2 days ago, Team Killer, the thriller team, was in the lead, but who knows what will happen between now and next week when I announce the points update again to everybody. But yeah, that's my first week of Spooktober. Hopefully this vlog comes up sometime in the middle of this week, but we will see. Need to try to edit it very quickly, but we'll see if I get to it or not as fast as I plan to. But I will talk to y'all in just a second when I start my week 2 intro.